Alright, first video we're gonna hop into Papa Meat. The horrors of backyard wrestling. Now, I used to wrestle all the time as a kid, so we had to watch this. Me and my cousins always used to fucking wrestle in the backyard, on the bed, anything, bro. Anywhere we could wrestle, we were wrestling.
Welcome back to the Papa Meat channel. How you doing? How you doing? Cool and settle down because today we're gonna be talking about underground wrestling. I mean, by now we all know about the WWE. It's an entertainment juggernaut that effortlessly prints millions upon millions of dollars every year.
Nah, the WWE, bro, that shit ran my childhood, bro. I used to want to be a wrestler so fucking badly, bro. I used to think, bro, me and my cousin used to talk about, like, yo, we should go in a wrestle and be, like, tag champs, bro. Thought we were going to be them. Thought we were, like, DX, bro. Thought we were going to be Triple H and HBK. Like, fuck, no. I couldn't do the shit they be doing.
Me to know it. I feel like the amount of WWE shit I've seen in the last, I don't know, 2 years has been fucking absurd. I've never...
WWE is awful now. Like, it still has its moments, but back in, like, obviously, like, the Attitude Era is, like, one of the best ones, but, like, the 2010s, 2007 to the 2010s, bro, they were some peak fucking years for WWE.
Seen it. It's not
John Cena's prime, Triple H, Orton.
It runs that deep. It's comparable to any other extremely dedicated hardcore fan base. WWE YouTube channel has like 100 million subscribers. Didn't know that. And then they just got like this huge deal with Netflix. And I feel like what they're pretty good at is they keep bringing in younger entertainment. So now you have like Logan Paul has been a part of the WWE for like a while. But then even I saw iShowSpeed was on it too. So I feel like they're just trying to inject shit to be like, okay, what will bring a young...
Well, yeah, they're trying to get the younger audience back into wrestling, because I feel like the younger audience definitely fell out of wrestling for a while. But I think now that, like, Speed, Logan, and all them, they're all in WWE, you'll see a big influx of, like, younger WWE fans again.
Younger audience in, or whatever. But I will say, it's not my cup of tea. I'll say it's not my cup of tea. Except...
Huh? I gotta hear why.
Wrestling documentaries. WWE are like...
You just like sports documentaries.
I do like sports documentaries. But I will say, the Andre
the Giant was a fucking animal, bro. Like, that dude is fucking huge.
Giant documentary is great. There's a bunch of good wrestling documentaries. They've been around since before most of you were born, you young pieces of shit. And they have a massive following that slurps up just about everything they produce, at least up until recently. Despite the sheer number of amazing talents that the WWE has, their reputation has undoubtedly been on the decline for years, now due to a slew of horrible business and creative decisions. Or is it just a thing that people... Do you think at a point it will run its course because people are like, eh? The way that you got into that, I wonder how the fuck did people get into it back in the day? I thought it was all pay-per-view. Way back in the day in like the 70s, whenever it was like, it was never just always WWE, it was like a bunch of different factions in the nation that had their own wrestling tournaments, and then the WWE like conglomerate bought them all. But before that, it was like, oh, you would go to your local area and watch a live wrestling.
You go to the fucking mall. You could go to the mall and watch a wrestling event. That's how they used to get down back in the day.
And then after a while, then they did like things like public broadcasting, where then you could like, if you were in that area, you could watch those wrestling matches on TV. And then of course, like in the late 70s, 80s, it was the big boom. Ticket prices are an all-time high, and while recent earnings reports boast impressive numbers, they came at the cost of big talent asking massive pay.
Damn, what, they cut Finn Balor's contract? Damn. Finn Balor was not used correctly by WWE, I feel like. Finn Balor could have been Jeff Hardy 2.0, kind of, with that makeup and, like, that demon kind of persona. He would have kept that going.
Cuts, with some even being fired out of
I think
nowhere,
they would have used, if they would have used that character right, he would have been crazy now.
Many of these increasingly frustrating decisions came after the 2023 UFC and WWE merger, combining over a new name, TKO Group Holdings. What's followed has been a string of bad decisions.
Yeah, bro, because you got fucking UFC fighters that get their ass kicked and then just come to the WWE, or WWE fighters that go to the UFC and get their ass kicked.
view as tainting the thing that made pro wrestling feel so special. There is a constantly growing number of ads pumping show runtimes to nearly 3 hours, ridiculous amounts of forced celebrity guests, repetitive storylines, and a general feeling that the magic of WWE has been reduced to a corporate mess. Dedicated wrestling
most
fans
definitely.
yearn for a time when things felt more authentic and less corporate, leading them to invest their time in smaller underground forms of wrestling. So today we're going to show some appreciation for these more authentic forms of
drop
wrestling,
those.
ones that aren't
Back body drop. What the fuck? Oh, so it was just it was just the actual video. I'm over here thinking it's me. Thinking my fucking setup's all fucked now, and I'm like, damn. Nope, it was just the video. Fucking each other up. How do you say? Yo, what's up, Laco? Laco to go. What's up, my guy? I appreciate that.
say wrestling is fake. When really what people are saying is it's scripted. You already know who's going to win, but people take it as
Oh my god. I used to I used to die on that hill when I was a kid, bro. My cousin used to fucking antagonize me as a kid, saying that wrestling was fake. Because this is not fake. It's scripted, but it's not fake, bro. They're whacking the fuck out of each other with them chairs and shit. But we used to get heated ass debates about how wrestling wasn't fake. I remember I was like 7, and he was really into like rock music. And we were in an argument about wrestling being fake, and I was like, nah, bro, fuck you. Music's fake. Music can't really be fake. Can't be fake. Unless it's AI, but that was like, he was like, what? Like, that makes no sense. But I think as a kid, you don't realize that it is scripted. You don't realize what scripted is. You just think, oh, well, whoever wins. John Cena just so happens to kick out 6 times and then win. Nah, it was scripted for John Cena to kick out fucking 6 times and win. But John Cena took all them fucking chair shots and he got put through that table. I guarantee you that.
the great offenses.
He gonna
like,
feel that
men
shit
aren't, like,
tomorrow.
fucking hurling each other over the things. They're not flipping and kicking
like
each
that
other.
shit's gotta
the fake
hurt.
punching with the stomp. I think you could get rid of
Like
that.
that shit
I think
you
that
can
doesn't
tell
sell
now.
well.
It's
Does
like,
that
yeah, they don't
sell
really
well to
punch
you when
each
you see
other.
that? When I see giant chest smacks, though, I'm like, that's kind of cool. Smack a man's chest. I don't know why you do it, but
Smack a man's chest.
you can.
'Cause that
Punch
shit
stomp, I
hurts.
just don't understand. Someone who's an avid wrestling fan, tell me why you like the punch stomp.
I think it's because back then cameras weren't very good, so it looked believable on TV. And same thing.
Yeah, with some of the angles they have now with like Netflix stuff, it does not do you any favors. You have to have some distance, you know? It's like with shitty movies back in the day, being like, who gives a shit? Dude, they're gonna see this on a 12-inch screen.
Yeah, now we see that shit in 4K on 125 inch.
Break to buy some magic cards.
The fuck it says? Is this an ad? It is. You shit, you douchebag.
It's the
Skip
bill
it.
more than backyard wrestling. You've probably seen it before.
Good for him,
kids
though,
in makeshift
but
costumes,
I
imitating
can't.
wrestling moves that vary
I
from
need
innocent
my
and
sponsor.
playful to downright risky and death-defying. Many have fond memories of creating their
Hey,
own characters and
big
backstories,
boy, off the
debuting them
ladder.
during full-on
Hey.
shows put on for their friends.
Nah,
and
bro,
family.
this is
No
shit we used to
sponsors.
do.
No
All
money
right,
due,
we
man. Just
we ain't never flipped each other into a fucking ladder. Nah, we never used ladders, but we wish we had ladders back then because we used to want to do ladder matches, but nah. But we used to fuck each other up. Like, we've hit each other with trash cans and shit like that.
wrestling for the love of the game. Between
Bow!
the late 90s and early 2000s, backyard wrestling was a trend sweeping American suburbs. It was even covered on major news networks, some depicting it as fascinating trend among teens, while others panicked about kids injuring themselves performing these clearly dangerous stunts without proper training. There was even a series of backyard wrestling video games
You don't need no fucking training. It's just get out there and fucking fight.
on PS2 that became underground hits, which I
Hey!
had one. It was awesome. I had buddies who were really into WWE when I was younger, and they had like all the other now classic like WWE games, and I just
Holy shit, that screen is so nostalgic, bro. What is that, 07?
didn't know any of the characters. I mean, like,
Bro.
don't get me wrong, I know like The Rock.
This
and
game was
Stone
so
Cold
good.
Steve Austin, but I didn't have like the deep fucking lexicon of knowledge that they had.
I like the games where you can make your own, because then you can
Oh, they're amazing.
Just have the NPCs fight and do tournaments.
Yeah, you can make the most heinous looking creature on earth. It's fucking awesome. The origins of backyard wrestling seem to catch its stride alongside the WWE's, formerly WWF, Attitude
That's
Era.
literally
which
just 4
this is seen
mattresses
by
on the
many
ground,
as
but
the
okay.
golden era of wrestling. It was an edgier era known for captivating storytelling that focused on increased violence, sexual content,
Barbed
as well
wire.
as extremely chaotic
Oh,
stunts.
yeah.
This is during the era of like that's
Bro, I wish they would bring back the strip matches, bro. When the women used to fight and used to have to strip each other, that shit was fucking cinema, bro. Cinema. But now it's, oh, kids can't see titties.
the Stone
Fuck out my
Cold
face.
Rock era.
Billy ain't gonna be
Macho Man,
hurt
I
if
think
he
was
sees a
like
couple
80s.
titties.
Oh yeah, Randy Savage. Ooh yeah. Beloved wrestlers like Mick Foley, known as Mankind, were getting thrown from 16-foot high.
That was
cells
fucking
and
crazy.
mercilessly beaten down with chair shots. The feeling of which he later described as lightning bolts that went all the way down to his feet. So I'm sure he is a man of broken glass now. Like all of them. If you look at all those wrestlers now, fuck.
Did you know Macho Man Randy Savage's last wrestling thing was for Spider-Man?
Spider-Man, yeah, he was in the cage match. He's the guy who fights.
Really, that's awesome as shit. I forgot that he was in that, but I do remember him being in
But
it
he
now.
apparently hurt himself so bad he couldn't wrestle anymore.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I didn't know that.
You should
Till
say it.
recently. Yeah.
What?
Till recently.
What do you mean till recently?
I didn't know that until I just read it like a week
Oh,
ago.
I thought you said that he was like, I'm like, you know he's dead, right?
Oh, he's dead?
He's been dead
Where the fuck have you been,
for a while.
I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah, he's gone.
Macho
Long
Man?
time. Which
I
also,
mean,
if you look at all
Macho's
these wrestlers now, like what
rest
is
in
it, the
peace,
Great
Macho, but he's been dead
Khalil?
for a
The only
while
reason I
now.
even know that guy is because he was in the,
Ooh,
the Adam
yeah.
Sandler movie, The Longest Yard.
Great
but if you
Khali.
watch him walk around
That dude
now, or at
fucking
the Big Show,
huge.
which it doesn't help that they're all like 7 feet plus tall, but like watching them walk around, it's like brutal. Oh, horrible. Or if you hear any of the wrestlers talk about it now, they're all just like, I can't sleep. I have to be put in like a fucking vertical coffin and held upside down and submerged in water. It's the only way I can get any sleep. It's too painful otherwise.
Yeah, I
You're
mean,
like,
it takes a
fuck's
toll
sakes.
being
Not
that
every
fucking
teen had the
big,
resources
getting
to build
fucking
a ring
slam
or
and
set up
slamming
props.
people.
Instead, they would simply meet at a local park and practice their moves. And sometimes an audience or random kids would form to watch the action. However, adult bystanders would chastise the teens or misinterpret their routine as legitimate street fights. And this would often result in police being called to break up the show because people are fucking idiots and they can't let children beat each other with chairs. I have to call the cops. My wife, I have to call the cops. No. Let's see how this rolls out.
Yeah, like, fuck it. I wanna... Shit, honey, don't call the cops. We'll pull up some chairs, pull the truck up, open the back of the truck, sit in the back of the truck, grab some beers, and we'll watch these little motherfuckers kick each other ass.
At least want to see
Like,
one
fuck.
kid get hit with a chair. You know what I mean? Like, fucking, if they're doing it, because I don't.
That you gotta be the announcer. That's the thing. If you're the older person there and you witness it, you just gotta step in and just be the fucking announcer. You gotta be Jim Ross. You gotta be like, "Bago! He's dead. That's it. He's fucking
Especially
dead."
kids. I don't think people realize the
Bah!
amount of like
Yo,
training.
you imagine seeing a kid hit each other with that? That shit would be, oh my
and
god.
the practice that people are doing for these routines. Don't get me wrong, they're getting hit for chairs, but they're probably hitting them in a very specific spot to where it's played out, right? It looks like he's hitting his head, but really it's like he puts his arms up last second and he's hitting his forearm or something. I'm just saying, if I'm there, I want to see a kid take a fucking
Yeah, chair to the dome.
or a 12 or a 6-foot ladder to the chest, anything. Yeah, exactly. And they do the have a kid with get the wind knocked out of him. Look like
Oh, that's happened a couple
Al Pacino
times.
and
We've had
Godfather
that
3
happen.
screaming on the steps of that church or whatever. Also, can I just say that has to be the greatest screaming.
I've never seen it.
Oh, that clip is so funny. I love it so much. Editor, play the clip. It's good stuff.
Did you ever play wrestling in the backyard with your buddies?
No, I was too busy doing cool shit like playing Animusha and making wooden swords and playing Jedi.
Loser.
I was too much of a pussy. I didn't really want to get actually hurt, but I loved doing the whole wooden sword thing and just being like, so you think you can come into my dojo, huh? Or I used to take we used to play Dragon Ball Z and like it would be just like the worst kids to play with. Yeah, you're gonna play backyard wrestling with Todd across the street and you're just like,
Better than not.
A bit sleepy. Some settled for wrestling on their
Bit sleepy.
trampolines, but the truly dedicated backyard wrestlers would slap together whatever they could to build a ring. And these setups would range from mattresses laid over the grass to metal tables nailed to the floor with a poorly padded cover. It's dangerous, but goddamn it, they got it done. Hundreds
Hey, you
upon
gotta do what
hundreds
you
of
gotta do.
backyard wrestling federations were created, inspired by what they'd seen. This happened to coincide
Hardcore
with the online
champion
video
Punisher.
craze, resulting in even more popularity as the countless jackass-style home wrestling videos blew up on sites like eBombs World and YouTube, which eBombs World, I remember back in the day, was like king for like a bunch of random videos and shit. And you would see videos of like fluorescent light bulb hits. You'd see like guys like getting thrown through stuff just in people's backyards, and it would be like a group of like 8 people. It's kind of badass. Granted, the video quality was like 320, but you didn't give a shit because you're like, holy. I'm like,
Oh,
my
bug
whole
out!
YouTube, I remember
He's
it was,
fucking
like,
dead!
The first thing I saw on YouTube.
Bobby
was
just hit his
was I
fucking
was
head
just
on the
looking at
ladder. We gotta go to the
Naruto
hospital.
episodes, and it was just Linkin
Fuck
Park
it,
and
no,
Breaking
no,
Bad,
keep it
like
match
Breaking
going, I'm
Benjamin,
good.
AMVs, yeah.
I used to download
gotta
those
play it
off
out.
LimeWire and
Oh,
Frostwire.
Yeah, my grandpa would he'd be like, "Let me bring you a CD. What songs do you want?" And I was like, "I could have any." It was like a 6-song CD. That's all it would be. Granted, I'm like 26 at the time. I didn't really have a lot of life experience, but out of many passionate wrestling fans that made this kind of content, a select few decided to imitate legit promotions further by getting their backyard shows on public access television. In the wake of these backyard beatdowns, the WWE would attempt to distance themselves to avoid bad publicity. In fact, there were many PSAs the WWE would air telling fans, "Don't try this at home," highlighting several pro wrestlers' injuries in hopes of convincing backyard fans to stop their risky behavior. Also, I think that they saw it as a threat, and they saw like, oh, well, if people figure out that they can do this by themselves, then it's going to like interfere with our business. It's hard to blame the WWE for this, especially when you look at just how over the top some of these backyard wrestling promotions got with their stunts. People were having trash cans slammed in their heads, diving into barbed wire boards covered in fire, and pile driving off of buildings, the latter of which was demonstrated in a viral video that left both amateur wrestlers clutching their backs and screaming in agony, somehow unaware of how this kind of stunt could go wrong.
You guys okay?
Fuck, man, are you guys good? Like, if you're a fan there in a backyard
No, I
wrestling,
fucking
if you see
broke
someone,
my
like,
back,
full on
Jim.
break their back. It's because it's the underground backyard wrestling. Are you like, yo?
You 100%.
Okay.
You were hyped.
Because if it's me there, I'm gonna be like, oh my god, that guy just broke his back.
No, that would be
Oh my god, that
would
guy just break
black
his
out from the
fucking
panic.
back.
Have you ever-
Just from the
Yeah.
panic?
Well, like, have you ever, like, something so traumatic has happened to you that you, like, time jump ahead 10 minutes and don't remember anything?
Okay, I'm gonna just re-say that out loud. Have I ever had anything so traumatic happen to me that I've blacked out and I've fast forwarded to 10 minutes in the future? I don't think there's been anything, luckily, in my life that has been so traumatic that I've physically blacked out and I've awoken 10 minutes in the future. Now, I'm guessing you have. And what I would say, Nick, is just keep that lid on and talk to a professional, all right? We don't need to air that out right now.
By blacking out, I don't mean, like, going unconscious. I just mean I don't remember.
No,
the-
100%.
Okay,
It's a blank
okay.
slate. Yeah, you were walking and talking and existing for 10 minutes post whatever happened to you, and I gotta say, you keep that lid on. You talk to us, or we can talk about it privately afterwards.
Well, can I tell you one? It didn't happen to
It
me.
happened multiple
Yeah,
times
it's happened multiple times.
to you.
Yeah.
You have, but you're saying that you've blacked out and have woken 10 minutes exactly
Well,
multiple times.
that was just a. That was just.
That
a
was,
number.
it could have
Sometimes
been
it's
days,
just a minute.
right?
Could have been days is
All right,
crazy.
what's
One was. got-
easy, no, easy. Just what? Let's.
This one is.
Okay, okay.
He got shot in the eye with a BB gun, point blank range. And I remember when it happened, I just remember hearing his scream, and I teleported to the kitchen. I was like, Dad, Mom, David lost his eye.
I just
I shot David in the eye with a BB gun.
sing the singer. You're just like, oh. Uh-oh, Nick blacked out again.
I remember yelling at my dad because he just sat there, and I was like, "What are you doing?" Wolf like,
Hurry up! He's
Calm
gonna
down.
die.
He's got 2 eyes, Nick. Calm down. Oh, God. Documentaries
Got the other
revolving
one
around
for a
backyard wrestling
reason.
show just how dedicated the wrestlers are to the craft. Some, even in their younger years, commit to blading to cover
Yeah, see,
themselves
those
in
two
their
guys
own
are way
blood
too
and
big to
make
be-
for a more brutal-looking match, which is when
That's
you
a
take
nail
little
board.
razor, you cut a thin piece of skin on your head, and you just bleed like a pig. Other backyard wrestlers recount getting choke slammed by their friends so hard that they thought that they were going to die. In more extreme cases, people would flip jump off the rafters and land on their heads, full scorpion, which when I see these, that's when I'm always, that's when anything with like the neck and back, that's when I'm like, that was not planned. There's no way to choreograph you bending like a scorpion and slamming 300 pounds of,
Yeah, that's that one. That's one fall that you just do not script no matter what.
The amount of people that are
And trying to do it, I don't know why you would.
Even Mega 64, our buddies there, Garrett, he does it too. He posts that shit all the time on his Instagram. It's insane, but like the amount of like training you have to do for that. I'm always surprised that people, especially in like older people as well, who are clearly like, I know Garrett does a ton of shit with Mega 64, to also have the time as well on top of that to perform, choreograph, and then do shows. It's just, I mean, there's such a level of love and dedication to it that it's like, I'm always fascinated that the wrestling phenomenon has that reach. In another viral backyard clip, a man by the name of Justin began his entrance by leaping into the ring, but unfortunately his knees were locked. Both legs bent back and snapped, leading to multiple surgeries and $200,000 worth of medical bills. People running in the ring have got to watch out. Speaking of Vince McMahon again, did you see the video of him when he runs up and he jumps into the ring and he destroys both of his hamstrings? And he can't stand up, so he's just sitting there, and he's like keeping his performance going, but he snapped both of his hamstrings. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. No, I've never seen that.
I remember that.
I don't feel like I'd have a very
But like,
cool
that's just
ring
what
entrance.
the
I feel like
fuck.
it'd be very. Once again, it'd be like a fat kid like dipping his toe into a pool.
What would your song be?
I mean, like, I don't know. Am I trying to be memorable? Crazy Frog. Uh-oh, here comes the Toad. And I'd call myself the Toad. Old news interviews in the early 2000s had people admitting to seeing their friends get paralyzed, crack their ribs, and even have their arms randomly turn green, presumably from a serious infection. Yeah, like how randomly. I don't know why his arms started turning green. As if it's like a glow stick, like he's just... It's just green all of a sudden. No. As you would imagine, these dangerous stunts have resulted in serious brain damage and even death. Real wrestling also has its fair share of risky moves, but the pros are trained to take bumps and minimize damage. Meanwhile, the teenager in a faded Hellraiser shirt probably isn't learning how to land on his back without exploding his spine. Some of the worst injuries we've seen can explain why the WWE was so incessant about telling children not to
Grim!
mimic what they saw.
Shout out Grib. Oh my god, I used to watch his videos all the time, bro.
Probably because also,
I used to
would
think his shit was
imagine,
hilarious as a
editor
kid.
Fact check, there had to have been some legal thing that happened to prompt that.
It's the whole thing of Billy
Someone got
saw it.
sued. Yeah, exactly.
Billy saw it on TV.
He saw it, so he thought he could do it. Therefore, they got sued and they settled out of court. And then all of a sudden, now they put that after every program, you know. While backyard wrestling is not a shortcut into the big leagues, many well-known wrestlers have gotten their start slowly honing their skills wrestling in their backyards. This would include big names like CM Punk as well as Nick and Matt Massey from the Young Bucks. Backyard wrestling may not be the phenomenon it once was, but it's by no means gone. Across the internet, you'll still find people creating backyard wrestling content. Not only does this still include young kids messing around in their backyards, but full-on productions with camera crews and a loyal online following. And I think like there's even certain leagues and stuff that host it in backyards, but I wonder if that's just to keep it in the tradition of it being like it's meant for a backyard audience. It's supposed to be a very like,
Yeah, but it's actually like a really put together, like Grim now. Like I know I don't know if he still does his wrestling videos.
while it is a legitimate product that you can go see or buy tickets to. During its heyday, backyard wrestling was so beloved because it was accessible and simply a fun thing to participate in with your friends. But in terms of danger, backyard wrestling doesn't hold a candle to another form of wrestling that has been around for decades. We're talking about death match wrestling. Death match wrestling is an event in which anything is on the table. Wrestlers still act out storylines and moves, but the stunts are far more violent and dangerous. It's almost a challenge to the wrestlers to make the stunts as shocking and as a spectacle as possible. While the WWE and larger promotions also have no rules or no disqualifier matches, it tends to shy away from the ultra violence, and underground promotions embrace their death matches. 9 times out of 10, clips you see online will involve glass, and people are usually being slammed in the head with fluorescent light bulbs or thrown through glass planes. Anything that will cause small cuts, people will be bleeding like a goddamn pig. It's brutal.
Barbed wire.
The barbed wire shit is fucked. Yeah, having like a bundle
Yeah,
of
no.
barbed wire and then having your friend like body slam you through it, brutal. The audience has even, on occasion, been sprayed with residual glass shards and even blood. But front row viewers know this is part of the course. Though there were early versions of extreme wrestling that date as far back as the 1930s, the death matches we see only truly got their start in the late 80s and 90s.
You know how
Wrestler
committed you have to
Atsushi
be to
Onita
this
is
shit, bro?
responsible for many of the match style's most popular characteristics. He founded the Frontier Martial Arts Wrestling promotion in 1989, which popularized the barbed wire deathmatch style of wrestling, featuring explosions and violent storytelling. Probably inspired by some of the wrestlers of the
What the
80s, but a lot of
fuck?
that more extreme.
I gotta
take.
find
Something
those.
that
I gotta
wasn't so
watch those.
family-friendly,
Fuck.
which is, I will say, the WWE has always tried to cater to in some way, is young 12-year-old boys, you know, and then they grow up and they show their sons and vice versa kind of thing.
They say, it was real for me.
Jesus Christ.
You seen that clip?
That scared me. Yeah, I don't think so.
You haven't
What was that? It was real for me.
seen that clip?
I just want to thank each and every one of y'all for all you've done to your bodies. It's still real to me, damn it. I mean,
Wait, where is he saying this
I
at?
don't know. He's just.
He has a mic? You're holding up against a mic, so he's in some kind of like room. Okay, I don't know, it was real for him. A few years later, Big Japan Pro Wrestling hit the scene in 1995 and innovated on Atsushi's original concept. They began creating a wide variety of gimmick matches that the WWE wouldn't even consider airing on television. Among these gimmick rule sets are tons of animal-themed matches. Quite literally, dangerous animals would be placed in the middle of the ring for wrestlers to interact with. Fuck. One of which is showcased in a match between Mitsuhiro Matsunaga and Kanedo Nagasaki, where a tank of piranhas sat in the middle, and the only way to win was to have one wrestler hold their opponents inside the tank for 10 seconds. There's also the Scorpion Death Match, in which large cacti are placed in all four corners of the ring, and a tank full of scorpions is placed.
Like, who gives the green light for this shit, bro? What? First of all, why would you want? I would never. I don't care who I hate. If you want me to pin them in a glass tank of piranhas, oh nah.
In the middle. Can you imagine getting kicked into a fucking cactus turnbuckle? And the thing too is, like, these guys are just as professional in terms of being like, I know I'm going into that cactus turnbuckle, you know, I know I'm gonna get slammed into a fucking a tub of scorpions. To psychologically be okay with that, and also just to like train your body to just be like, I don't give the pain, I don't give a fuck anymore. It would take a couple. I mean, I'd have to be like, I'm trying to think about a world where in my mind I'm like, yeah, okay.
Do you think they practice getting kicked in the cactus too?
You'd have to think so. Like, I don't think that you would go in doing that, not having experienced it before. So at least this way you kind of know what's coming, maybe? I mean, I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
No, I bet you they do it. You gotta at least feel it once before you get on stage.
Yeah, it's like a cop getting tased or pepper sprayed or whatever. As if that means anything. Like, what does that do for people? Other events in the BJW include the Firestone Death Match. For this event, electrified heaters wrapped in barbed wire are placed in the corners of the ring. I feel like a guy just owned a junkyard, and he was like, that still works, and it'll burn you like high hell. What's interesting is the backyard element seeping into this death match style quality, where it is things that you would find at your house and just be like, wouldn't it suck to fucking get kicked into that? But it kind of rules, you know what I mean? There's like a mysticism about that that's really fun. We're like, that is weird. But it probably literally was a guy being like, yeah, I brought these for my house, we could use these. And the Taipei
Oh yeah, just bringing random shit like, yo, I broke this off of my fan the other day. And my fan broke yesterday, so I took the rest of it, and we can use this to fucking whack each other with. All right, cool. We could use that.
match where both fighters wrap their fists in rope, cover them in honey and broken glass before boxing each other. That just feels irresponsible.
Like, you're just asking for somebody to lose an eye or get fucking rock 'em, sock 'em in the fucking forehead, and you just start fucking gushing.
It should come as no surprise that veterans of the death match are covered head to toe in scars and puncture wounds. These scars are how many wrestlers earn respect of their opponents and fans. Many wrestlers who are just starting out have publicly stated they wish their backs were more mangled like their idols. It's scars, it's battle marks, they're trophies, Nick. As death matches continue to grow and spread worldwide, wrestlers came up with even more insane stunts to shock audiences. In some instances, power tools have been moved from the shed and into the wrestling ring. For example, one wrestler named Nick Mondo had a weed whacker used on his torso. According to him, this resulted in 1 to 2 weeks of recovery and brutal scarring. Yeah, I mean, that's bits of your, chunks of your flesh are coming off with that. No matter how stale things may get, there's always a new nightmarish idea to keep things interesting. If getting cut with barbed wire wasn't enough, deathmatch events will introduce salt, lemon juice, and even wasabi, which are poured on the injured wrestlers as they scream in pain. In the
Oh no! Imagine you got a fucking gash and somebody pours fucking salt in it. Ooh,
past, event
my.
organizers would wrap barbed wire around gas-soaked rags, light them on fire, a practice they called a flaming barbed wire match. What's crazy
Nice.
is that these are all
Sound
basic
fun.
inclusions in your average death match. Championship matches will push the envelope even further with explosives. These explosives were placed either on the sides of the ring or a few feet away, usually triggered when people were pinned or thrown out of the ring. Most of the most famous examples of this was the FMW no rope electrified barbed wire swimming pool dynamite double hell death match, which had wrestlers put on a boat and brought to a ring in the middle of a pool. Every time
Nice.
a wrestler was thrown into the water, large explosives would send plumes of smoke into the air as the crowd erupted with excitement. While deathmatch wrestling certainly has a cult following, there are a fair share of detractors, some of which are wrestling fans that view the niche subgenre as trashy in a way that ruins the reputation of wrestling as a whole. Why don't you have some fun in your life? My God.
Come on, Cindy. Just because he fucking split the dude's fucking hand open and then fucking cracked him over the head and split it open, just that doesn't mean that it's bad for the sport.
Oh, God, that makes WWE look... Come on! That's not classy. This is classy. I locked Bob Dylan up on stage. Who are you? Who are you?
Pretty good.
Is that good?
Yo, his fuck.
You're no talent.
You're a nobody. You're nothing. While many aspects of deathmatch wrestling are controlled, it is far
You're a
more common to be
nobody.
genuinely injured here than in most other wrestling promotions. Well-known wrestler Nick Gage is a fan favorite that has had one of the largest deathmatch careers in the scene. In 2010, he had 2 arteries in his arm sliced open, leaving him to nearly bleed to death on the ground next to the ring. That almost became a deathmatch. There you go. But see, that's once again, it's just one of those things where
I wish it. I hope it
trust
was
to do
worth it.
Was that a fluke? What happened? But can you imagine having you can't even scream for help. You'd have no, you'd be like, it'd take somebody to come up and be like, oh, by the way, this guy's dying, and then the fans that are there, that's just part of the show.
Could you imagine screaming for help and people think it's a bit? Help!
That's a nightmare. Help! And people are like, woo! Look at you on the ground. Another well-known wrestler from Mexico, Hector Perez, was suspended indefinitely due to an event that transpired during a death match. At one point, he knocked his opponent out unconscious after chucking a brick directly at his head. He was hospitalized with a fractured skull, and while in the hospital, he had to undergo...
That's attempted murder, bro. That is attempted murder. Bro, we signed up to wrestle. You did not just do a cinder block at the back of my head. That is attempted murder. You deserve to be in
an
prison.
emergency surgery as his brain trauma caused a blood clot to form in his fucking skull, dude. And perhaps the most gruesome injury occurred during an IWA Mid-South match between wrestlers Madman Pondo and Mean Mitch Page. As the match carried on, Pondo would smash a grandfather clock over Mitch's head, leaving a severe injury. A piece of glass from the face of the clock sliced the side of Mitch's head and it hit an artery, resulting in him bleeding out in the ring. EMTs would arrive on the scene and get Mitch into an ambulance, where he would die and be revived on the way to the hospital. Mitch would only take a 30-day break away from deathmatch wrestling before hopping back into the ring to continue his career, which is just fuck.
Huh? 30 days? Oh, Brody took a month off and said, oh, no, I'm back. I'm cool. I can wrestle again. No, you can't. Yo, whoever his wife is, gotta be. Whatever happened, he gotta have a hell of a fucking dead, whatever it's called. Whenever he dies, he must be giving her a lot of money
And say,
for her to
but see,
be like, all right, go ahead.
that's the thing is like even when fucking these injuries happen, I think the people that are that into it, they know. You never know, especially if you're doing deathmatch wrestling. You got to know that you any little slip up could fuck with each other, which is also why I think, once again, people that are like in the WWE space, well, it's not real wrestling. I'm like, the level of choreography to drive a grandfather clock onto somebody day in, day out and not have it slice his artery open, is that not insane? insane choreography to do that. You know, as extreme and downright terrifying as some underground wrestling subgenres can be, they say a lot about the undying love wrestling fans have for their craft. I mean, even seeing Garrett from Mega 64 do his thing, or dude, I've seen this one guy on Instagram a lot, and it fucking rules. I think what's his fucking name? He says, it's just the pageantry, the love for it. It's infectious. You know, it's a thing that
dude's a fucking legend.
like when I look at WWE, I never want to actually watch the wrestling matches. I don't really give a fuck. It's impressive. It is what it is. I'm not into the whole storytelling thing, but watching the documentaries, there is a captivating amount of like love and care they give for the craft that makes it infectious. Like you do buy into it, which is why I think sometimes when you watch these documentaries, you're like, holy fuck. At least for me, I get totally hooked. Many of these people literally give their blood, sweat, and tears to put on a good performance, whether it's for a big crowd or a couple
he just
friends
stapled
with a
his
video
fucking
camera.
tongue
While the
to
latter
the
of the two we've
back.
discussed today is pretty intense, there's no shortage of underground events to attend or follow online. If you find yourself tired of WWE and other big promotions, trying experiencing a local indie promotion for a more authentic experience, or stick with WWE, and if you're lucky, you can watch Jelly Roll slam your favorite wrestler through a Slim Jim branded table for the 3rd time in a month. That's fun. Until next time, guys.
Holy shit. Yeah, underground wrestling's a lot worse than WWE. They don't give a fuck. They just be fucking each other up, and they gotta go back to their 9 to 5 the next day. Alright, we're gonna get into the next video, but I'm gonna use the bathroom. I'm gonna grab a drink. I'll be right back.